Hiya folks, Team Forbidden's old man here with a deck profile for you. Today I'll be covering Dustin Burn, so let's get this started. We're gonna start off with the main deck monsters. 3 House Dustin, because that's the main card you want to bring out your field. If you don't know how Dustin works, basically, you want to give your opponent all your bad Dustins and want to keep the good Dustins for yourself. So, aside from the 3 House Dustins, I personally like to run one of each colored Dustin because I find it a pain to draw into them first turn. So, the colored Dustins, each of them have the effect to each of them cannot be used as a fusion, synchro, X's material for a summon. While this card's face on the field, it cannot be attributed, which means no ritual summon and no regular tribute summon, so that's good. And then each of them has a secondary effect. This one burns for 500. This one, I believe, bounces back face up. Oh no, one spell trap card you control. This one returns a monster from your graveyard to your deck. Yes, returns from the graveyard to the deck. And this one, you banish. The controller banishes 1 card from their hand face down to the standby phase of their next turn, and each player can only control 1 of each color Dustin. Moving on from that, you have 3 white Dustins because you want to give yourself Dustins that you can use to Xyz or tribute for whatever reason. Same reasoning goes by for the House Dustin itself. I also run 2 Stygian securities to bring House Dustin to the field faster. You can also, if Stygian security does not work for you, you can also use Shining Angel. I don't have it on me, but it's a light fairy type, level 4. When it's sent to the graveyard, or when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 light monster from, I believe, your deck to your field. And then other monsters we have, Star Dustin. I don't use him very often, but he's pretty useful in a pinch. Basically, you send any number of Dustins from your side of the field to the graveyard to special summon him. Cannot be normal summoned or set. This card's attack and defense become equal to the number of monsters sent to the graveyard for a special summon times 1,000. So if you have 4 Dustins on your field, 4,000, you're gonna have a 4,000 attack Star Dustin. Now some people like to use the Goblin King variant. I like it too, but personally I really like its additional effect where your opponent cannot flip or special summon any monsters or activate any spells or trap cards on the field. And its last effect, if you control more monsters than your opponent does, this card is destroyed. And then once in a while, it's gonna be hard to get off House Dustin's effect to special summon from the field from the deck to the field, because your opponent might have more monsters than you want. So I run 1 Lava Golem, maybe 2 if you want to get Lava Golem to field faster, to basically tribute 2 of their monsters, and then if you already have House Dustin on the field, run into Lava Golem and then get your whole field set off. And then 1 Exodius Forbidden Lord to recycle any Dustins that are in the graveyard to your deck. And that will cover all your monsters. Next, we'll go into spells. For spells, I run 1 for 1. 2 Shattering Arrows because it's a burn deck and spell destruction. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. 1 Magicalized Dustin Mop for either the monster the opponent already has on the field, along with the Dustin, or for the Lava Golem. 2 enemy controllers for if your opponent plays passively and has their monsters on defense mode. 1 dark hole if their field's too full, and 2 clear world because when you have your setup, when you have your opponent's side of the field all set up, clear world will they'll be under the influence of clear world. So effective clear world during each of your end phases, pay 500 life points or destroy this card. Each player receives certain effects depending on the monster attributes they control. Light, play with your hands revealed at all times. Dark, if you control 2 or more monsters, you cannot declare an attack. Earth, during your standby phase, destroy 1 face-up defense position monster you control. Water, during your end phase, discard 1 card. Fire, during your end phase, take 1000 damage. That's a plus for burn decks. Wind, you must pay 500 life points to activate a spell card. Later on, I'll show you the ideal setup you'll want with the Dustons and this field spell. And then, next up, we have traps. For traps, we have Magic Cylinder, Secret Barrel for burn, 2 Ceasefire, Just Desserts, Secret Blast, and most definitely Blazing Mirror Force. Oh, excuse me. 2 Blazing Mirror Forces, 1 Breakthrough Skill, Bottomless, Grand Horn of Heaven, and Solemn Warning. And then we also have an extra deck, although I don't really go into that often, but it is good to see for the ideal setup you want. So we have 2 Lionhearts, and then I don't really go into Lionheart all that often because Lionheart needs 3, but I personally go into these 2 more often because most of the time I'll have 4 Dustons on the field. So Crime and Punishment, their effects, they depend on having both of each other on the field. So once returned during either player's turn, detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Change all monsters your opponent controls to face-up attack position. Also, all monsters your opponent currently controls must attack this card this turn if able. While you control number 31, Embodiment of Punishment, this card gains these effects. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while it has an Xyz material, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from attacks on this card. So now that you've seen those extra deck monsters, I'll show you the setup that I personally like to get into. So when you get House Duston's effects off, you're generally going to summon all 4 of these monsters on your side of field. So they'll have 4 of these plus the 1 monster they used to attack House Duston. And then you're going to have either a mix of 2 or 3 white Duston and 1 House Duston, or 2 or 3 House Duston, 1 white Duston. Either way, you could still use them to overlay into your Crime and Punishment. Excuse me. And then have your Clear World out on the field. So, oops. So while they're so in this scenario they'll be stalled because they can't tribute or summon or summon from, or special summon from the extra deck. And sorry, I forgot one more card. But it's mostly situational. Magicalize a Dust Storm mob for equipped to the only monster they have on the field. And then while they're stalled in this setup, you're mostly going to burn them with all the trap cards you have at your disposal. So, and then Clear World's effect when as far as the dark monsters on your side of the field go, you're not really going to attack much because you're going to want to just have them attack you, basically. So that pretty much covers the setup for Dust on Burn. I hope you enjoyed this video, but I will add a little disclaimer. This deck isn't really made for competitive play, but it is still pretty fun to play once you get your set off going. So don't let it discourage you from playing the deck. It's pretty fun, especially if you want to bring Hell on most of your friends. I know Mr. Cameraman hates me for using this card on him. Can I get a middle finger from him? No? No? Okay. Well, that's all for today. I hope to see you next time, and peace out.